Hebrews. Prophet of Awakening. This is our Friday night Q&A class, 22nd of January, 2021. We'll do our moment of silence, as usual, and then we do our prayer, and then we go into some current events. So this moment of silence is in regards to the Lord of Hosts, our Creator and His Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts, and all that they are doing, orchestrating and bringing about our deliverance from these Gentiles. So with that, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna do our prayer, moment of silence and a prayer. Oh Lord, we come before you this Sabbath day, bow down with great respect for our Redeemer. Lord, you confess to your prophet Isaiah that you would return us unto, and that you would pour out your Spirit upon us. This you have done, O Lord, in great fashion. Because of this, O Lord, we have found you within your holy scriptures, great in counsel and mighty in works, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. O Lord, behold, thou hast made the heavens and the earth by thy great power and stretched thy arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Knowing all these things, O Lord, we eagerly await thy coming, the day in which thou wilt break the yoke of our oppressors. Peace be unto you. Okay. Got any current events? Got any current events?
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.
I have had 3 of my friends from Alaska to call me, and they are so excited that they got their first rounds of the vaccine.
Okay.
So, I mean, and I know that several people have gotten a vaccine in different states, but I'm just amazed at how excited people are, to be receiving this vaccine.
Right. Brainwashed.
Yeah.
And of
Guess
course,
what?
go ahead.
I know 2 ladies from Alaska now living in Arizona. They got theirs yesterday too.
Mm, yeah, and they are excited.
Right.
And of course, um, like you say, unless they bring up a conversation that goes contrary to what they believe, you just leave it alone. And so they
Mm-hmm.
were just, yeah. And I share that to just say, I don't know what's coming down the pike in terms of what they might try to put in place to make everybody take it. Like we said, they're going to probably going to make it a mandate for school children. They can't go to school unless they get the vaccine. Um, but we just hold tight to our Redeemer.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play this little video from Dr. Siraki.
Africa's star is rising. We know, we are the children of the welcome, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, that you're really shifting, or at least 90% of your life is in your own narrative, and the other 10% is just curiosity of what's going on in the Babylon, because Babylon is falling, and we have to make sure that we have withdrawn ourselves spiritually, physically, mentally, and most importantly, emotionally and psychologically, so that we don't fall with Babylon, because Babylon is a mental system that has tricked the entire world. Before I get into this, first of all, let me just premise this by saying this is not our circus. These are not our monkeys. This is really has little to do with us, but it's very important that we be aware of what's going on as Babylon falls. And so that's very important. Special shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. I absolutely appreciate, love each and every one of you. Thank you for enabling us to continue to bring the Dr. Mumbi Show to our global Black family. So, beloveds, the fat lady is about to sing, I swear, and we need to be so aware of that, because she's about to belt out any minute now. There's been so many strange things going on. We saw, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a blackout at the Vatican. And at the same time, there was also a blackout in Pakistan. Now, there's all kinds of rumors and allegations and conspiracy theories that are saying that the satellite in Rome and the servers in Pakistan might have been involved in allegedly helping to, shift the election numbers. Let me just put it that way, in the divided states. So there's so much happening. But beloveds, like when this happens, these are all indicators, and a lot of this stuff is not even making the news. All the videos that showed the blackout in the Vatican, at first you could even hear, something, it sounded like shots. But next, all those videos were wiped, and what came out was this, all the videos showing the blackout, but with this terribly overlaid, whatever music, it's not even gospel, whatever they call their music. So what is really going on, beloveds? I've been talking about this for so long. I think for the last 2 years, I've been telling you there's a major secret society war going on, but all of them are together. So their agendas are parallel, but the way they want to implement them sometimes is quite different. And Trump, he's for one secret society, and then the globalists, which include the Vatican, the Queen, all these people are for another secret society. And there's been so many rumors and allegations that some of the faces have been charged, etc., etc. Are we going to see a lot? Because I really believe. Sorry, I just sounded like, but I really believe that we are about to witness something we've never seen. I know a lot of people have talked about it. The fat lady, beloveds, is about to sing. We're not going to go back to business as usual. It's not going to be like an inauguration and then all of a sudden Biden is president and then the whole world keeps it moving. Like already Trump has said he's not leaving office. There's a lot happening behind the scenes with the blackout. The other day I think Trump even just went to see how the border wall is going, not acting like he's going anyway. So prepare yourselves, your hearts and your minds, beloveds, for what is about to unfold. Fasten your seatbelts. And really, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. You need to, one of the greatest blocks that they have created in many people has been where you bulk to truth. If the truth is different, if they've told you, if you've been on the Christian Kool-Aid your whole life, and someone comes and tells you Jesus never existed, there was no J, whatever, you will bulk to that, and you'll even hate, like it will trigger something in you because it's become part of your immune system almost, and so you'll almost want to attack the person that is attacking like the foundation of your philosophy. So people really need to disconnect from all those beliefs that have held you so strong and so close, because especially your belief, your belief in Babylon and your disbelief in a lot of the conspiracy theories that have been shared. because the fat lady's about to sing, beloveds. Make sure you continue to stock up on food until the very last day. Stock up on the major essentials. Make sure that if you're here on the continent, you're planting your food, you're preparing, because our presidents have connected us so much into the matrix that if Babylon falls, these fake states, across Africa will also be hugely affected. But the kingdom of Zion prevails forever and ever and ever. Anyway, the fat lady's about to sing, beloveds. Prepare your hearts and minds. Prepare your hearts and minds. And just know the truth may be painful, but it will set you free. And another thing I want to say, please, beloveds, don't get involved, especially to our African American brothers and sisters. I actually saw a Kenyan American, there's a picture of him in US Capitol Hill, and it went viral here in Kenya. And then he actually came out and he was like, no, I wanted to see for myself, the inside of US Capitol Hill or something like that. But it's not our circus, beloveds. So stay out of it. Really, you need all the energy you have to kind of build your next and protect you and your family and get you ready for some dark days that are up ahead. Until next time, tuko pamoja.
Okay. Anybody got any comments on that?
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.
There's so much truth in what she says about bulking against hearing something different than what you have known, all of your life, and people wanting to attack the messenger.
Right.
I also wanted to ask you, Leonard, you have a saying. You have a saying on the back of your book, and it says, like, eat this book. It will be sweet in your mouth and bitter in your tummy. I think it is bitter. It's sweet at one point and then it gets bitter, or it's bitter at one point and then it gets sweet. Does that have a connection to the truth?
Yeah, I got it right here. Take and eat. This book it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Yeah, so that's that.
How is that connected? What does that mean? I guess I want to.
Well, when you go to the scriptures, the Most High would always be saying all through the Tanakh that I'm going to serve you with gall, which is vinegar. So like I said, it's two baskets of figs. You got the wicked ones and the good ones. He always send the good ones out somewhere. Then he served the wicked ones with gall, bitter. So when you understand that, that's where they get their part in the crucifixion from, where the Roman soldier gave Jesus the he dipped the thing in the rag in the vinegar and put it up to his mouth. That's where that's coming from. But he always seen, yeah, they took that and added that into the story. Just like I was saying about Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot is, let me show you. That story come out of the Old Testament, out of Tanakh. 2 Samuel.
You're saying that the Judas story comes out of the Old?
Yeah, I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
So, it's in chapter 17, 2 Samuel.
Okay. Samuel 17.
Right.
You starting at 1?
Well, I'm just showing you. See where it say more. Chapter verse 1. Moreover, then he got this guy named Avatar, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, that's the high priest, and he's David, like David, right hand man. And what's going on in this story, this is when Absalom tried to run a coup on David and take David's
Okay,
throne
yeah.
from him. And David had to flee. Well, Absalom sided with this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was David right hand man, but when the Lord of Hosts came in and spoiled it, and Absalom ended up getting killed, so the coup didn't go down.
Mm-hmm.
So look at 17 and 20, 23.
Mm-hmm.
So now it didn't work. Judas went to the temple and so Jesus told him where he was going to be at for 30 pieces of silver because he was trying to make him, according to the story, he's trying to make
Right.
him use his powers because to overturn the Roman Empire. So so anyway, 23 says, and when Armathar saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and got him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order and hanged himself.
Mm.
Same thing with that. Same thing
Judas.
that Judas did, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is where the plot come from. Then
Okay.
I was trying to find that the other day, but I had read it. I had wrote this down. This is way back in 2008 when I was dealing with this. But and then David was in Gethsemane, same where Jesus was at, and he came out riding on a white donkey and all that. All that whole story come out here.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Between now and tomorrow, I'm gonna find that part about what David on riding on a mule. So that's where they get all that from. When Jesus tell them after the Lord's Supper, he tells them, he called a man to the side and tell him go and get him an ass and set it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
all that's coming out here. Yeah.
Right. And so the about giving him vinegar and stuff on the cross, you saying that's associated with that bitter and
Right.
sweet or no?
It's another one of those Hebrew idioms that's always
Okay.
being used in the scriptures. I'm gonna serve you with gall, with vinegar,
Uh-huh.
with bitterness. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
For your unrighteousness. So he says,
Okay.
right. And then he also told Ezekiel, about to eat the scroll. He says
Right.
it's gonna be bitter in your mouth, but sweet in your mouth and bitter in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And what does that mean?
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to deal with, but
Mm-hmm.
it's bitter because it's repercussions to it. It's repercussions to dealing with His word.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay.
it's bitter. It's got side effects too. Like Jeremiah, all that happened to
Yes.
Jeremiah. He was doing the right thing, but his repercussions of doing the right thing. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna read this song right quick. Says I'm in Psalms Psalms 147. Great is our God and great is our God and of great power. Praise ye the Lord, for it is good to sing praises unto our God, for it is pleasant, and praise it comely. The Lord doeth build up Jerusalem. He gathered together the outcasts of Israel. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth the number of the stars. Okay? He telleth the number of the stars. He calleth them all by their names. Great is our Lord, and of great power. His understanding is infinite. The Lord lifteth up the meek. He casteth the wicked down to the ground. Sing unto the Lord with thanksgiving. Sing praises upon the harp unto our God, who covereth the heavens with clouds, who prepareth rain for the earth, who maketh grass to grow upon the mountains. He giveth to the beasts his food, and to young ravens which cry. He delighteth not in the strength of the horse. He taketh not pleasure in the legs of a man. The Lord taketh pleasure in them that fear him, in those who hope in his mercy. Praise the Lord, O Jerusalem. Praise thy God, O Zion. For he hath strengthened the bars of thy gates. He hath blessed the children within thee. He maketh peace in thy borders, and filleth thee with the finest of the wheat. He sendeth forth his commandments upon the earth. His words runneth very swiftly. He giveth snow like wool. He scattereth the hoarfrost like ashes. He casteth forth his ice like morsels. Who can stand before his cold? He sendeth out his word and melteth them, and causes his wind to blow and the waters to flow. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Okay, that was Psalms 147 that I just read. Anybody catch anything in there they wanted to expound on?
Shalom, shalom. Yes.
Okay,
As you were reading that psalm, I thought about what's in the book of Enoch, that there are storehouses of snow and storehouses of, the different elements to the weather.
okay,
When you said, you know, he sendeth forth his commandment upon earth, his word runneth very swiftly, and he giveth snow like wool, and he scattereth. It just reminded me of what Enoch shares with us about what he saw when he was given a tour of heaven, that
right.
there were storehouses, that where the snow was stored up, different
Right. He got angels over different angels over different
weather
things.
elements.
Right. You got angels of
Right,
snow, angels of ice, angels of vapors, and they controlling all this stuff.
right.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate these songs when you read them, especially at such a time as this, because it gives
Right.
us hope. And then verse number 5 says, "Great is our Lord and of great power. His understanding is infinite, infinite.
Right.
He got a
Right.
billion and one ways in which he can, you know, rescue us, redeem us, deliver us." So I really appreciate these songs when you read them.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, shalom. Can y'all hear me? Hello.
What you say?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, yeah. To me, that ties into Deuteronomy 4, starting at chapter 5, where it reads, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, for who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set
Hmm.
before you this day? Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from the heart all the days of thy life. But teach them to thy sons and thy sons' sons."
Hmm.
Yep.
Right.
So I mean that ties directly into that, to where like he gave us the word, and he didn't give it to any nations. And
Exactly.
for example, we're supposed to be an example to the nations. We're supposed
Right.
to be an example of righteousness and understanding.
Right.
Hallelujah.
Right. Exactly. Because
Amen.
they watching. That's what a lot of people are understanding of. Even
Hmm.
back then and even now, these other nations, these other races of people are watching. They watching us. It's
Hmm.
like the guy was saying that we don't everybody else know who we are. We the ones didn't know who we were. We starting to
Hmm.
find but all along they knew who we was.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't know that. So it's all like I said, when they came and got us from the west coast of Africa, was because of Esau knew where we was at and he was conspiring. And then the Africans, like I said, when we left in 143 BC, came across the top of Africa, then we trickled down through the Sahara, ended up on the west coast. Those Africans said that we had stole their land. And we was occupying their land. We came from over the Middle East and came and stole their land. So they wanted the first opportunity they can get. They wanted to get us off their land. So that's why you see Esau with the slave ships, and then you got the African going into those villages, getting us out, bringing us out to the seashore settlements.
Right.
Both of them was working together. They had an agenda. They knew exactly who he was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, I tried to inject into my little list of things to talk about is try to keep everybody informed on what's going on the continent of Africa. So I got a couple of videos on play. They're not that long. This is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
This Echo Atlantis. I got a couple of videos on the prophets of Awakening about Echo Atlantis. This the stage where it's at right now, before it's a development. You pretty much can bounce off of this and figure out when they're gonna start making a move on us, according to where they at with all this construction. Yes, so. That's what we talk about in Ezekiel 38, dwelling safely.
My name is Wale Opayinka. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for a co-development company, developers for Azuri Towers. Those who have come today to the property, what they've seen is something almost they could not imagine. A state-of-the-art development set in what some people have constantly referred to as the Dubai of Nigeria or Dubai of Africa. You've heard people use words like wow, unimaginable words of just how do you applaud something that you never really thought you could see in this country, at least for a long time to come. It's sort of a property that you expect to fly to Dubai or to the Caribbean or to the Maldives or to the Seychelles or to the UK, and then to find that right on the shores of Lagos in the Atlantic is just something that goes beyond people's imagination.
Okay. Any comments?
Beautiful. We don't hear enough of that. We don't see enough of that.
Right. Is that something?
Right. And Leonard, like you say, everybody else knows who we are. And they're preparing, for the diaspora to come home. Even though so many people in the diaspora, are saying that, I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard anybody say this, but so many people say, America is my home. I'm not going nowhere,
Right.
But there's a reason why they're building up Africa.
Okay.
Because Africa's children are coming home, and the Hebrew Israelites getting ready for their right.
Okay. I don't know what it is.
What country of Africa is that located?
That's all in Nigeria. They go Nigeria, but they building they're building Echo Atlantis. This is a city, a smart city they're building over Nigeria is got the greatest population and the greatest economical base and all that is in Nigeria. That's why they're building this over there. Let me see what I'm doing.
All right. I think you spoke about it a little bit in a couple previous videos, but as far as like these populations being able to handle that massive amount, or from your understanding, you expecting a small amount of us to actually go back, or are you talking about the whole entire?
Right. Yeah.
His
Let me see
voice
what
is
I'm doing.
going in and out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see what's going on with this.
Well, what was the comment or the question or the statement?
As far as the country's economy being able to handle a massive amount of people moving into it, whether that be an issue or not, or something we discussed.
This height.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Because you say Nigeria already has a booming economy and a booming, as far as who are the people already there. So,
And COVID.
that many
They
people
got
moving
COVID
in
too.
to Echo Atlanta. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's vacant right now. So we're saying that's for us, but it's like, is that already understood fully, or is that what we're talking about?
Mm.
What it is they setting it up for us, and it's the people that understand what's going on, know where they're heading with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I say, so many some of the people that I talk to, they say, they ain't going nowhere. And as for me, I can't wait till they call to manifest.
Right.
It's in
Right. So yeah.
Lagos.
Yeah. So I lost that other video, but yeah. So what you saying?
I'm
Yeah,
saying,
it's.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add on that the Lagos building is supposed to be for the. I guess the intent is for the diaspora also, and the Wakanda villages.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
All that stuff is they got like I was saying before, they got ghost cities already, complete cities already built. The infrastructure and everything already set in place. So it's just a matter of time. And like I said, the timeline is when you're looking at that, you can see it's tied, it's synchronizing all of it with
Mm-hmm.
the completions. Like I said, this place right here is going to be like the World Trade Center is in New York,
Mm-hmm.
but for Africa. And our African free trade already started. That free trade area already started. So you see all that stuff starting to coming together so we at that point, almost at that point where they got to bring us over there
Mm-hmm.
because we the glue that's gonna make all of it work. Right.
And Leonard, when you say that we are the glue, you're saying that what do you mean when you say that? You're talking about um
The intellect.
the intellect. Uh-huh.
Intellect
Okay.
well, we came as a people. We,
Mm-hmm.
we so we overcoming, which is this right here. What I'm talking about right now is gonna tie in with the video I'm gonna show you, but our skills. But it
Mm-hmm.
ain't nothing, it's nothing new under the sun because that's why the Egyptians wanted us. We build
Right.
up, they big old mega cities, Ramesses and what place was that we built our own cities for them. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta imagine all that labor and skill and technology that we had when we left Egypt. We had that. We got the Israel. We applied that same all those skills we had. We applied it in Israel and when we built the temple. That's why
Right.
it was so magnificent. Then when Nebuchadnezzar came, that's what he took. He took the smiths, the carpenters, all the people that skilled people, took them to Babylon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they get ready to do now. There ain't nothing new under the sun.
Right. And even Leonard, go ahead.
They having problems from time immemorial with all the African leaders running the country.
Mm-hmm.
But they got African Americans over here go over there and run the country like it ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What Pastor Manning was saying, there's gonna come a time and they're gonna have people like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, all of them gonna be over various countries in Africa.
Right.
Yeah,
And Leonard, as we move towards Black History Month, it reminds us of everything that every gadget, every item that we need to live our lives and function on a daily basis was pretty much invented by, I won't say Hebrew Israelites, Black people.
right, exactly. The African Americans, the Israelites.
The African Americans invented every, from the stoplight to the ironing board to the to
Washing
even to the
machine, dryer.
the washing machine, everything. And so I was thinking, as you were speaking, I was thinking about just what you said. They took the choice people
Right,
of the nation of Israel and took them into captivity. And then King Nebuchadnezzar, when you think about Daniel, he thought he could feed Daniel and them a certain kind of food to make them strong and vibrant to do his work. But Daniel proved that no, it's the diet of his Lord, of his God, that
right,
makes them who they are.
right. So you got that. That's why I keep on pounding the idea that you have to get in your head thinking like a Hebrew is. It's two baskets of feeds. So ain't the carpenters, the smiths, and all that the good feed?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
See that? So he took them out and took them to Babylon. So
Mm-hmm.
and then he said the other feeds, which is so wicked, they bad, they evil feed. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, when he made Adam, he formed him with his hand. How you think he looked?
Mm,
If he formed him, you know how he looked. So then
right.
when he took the rib and made Eve, how you think she looked? So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
so that's the problem nowadays. If we'd have stayed and listened to him like he told us to do, then all the males that was born that have been the male you looking for. Now you running out trying to find a man
Mm,
that's what you want. But we stayed on point like we supposed to. All the women would look like the way you want them to look, and the men would look like the way you want them to look.
Right.
But we messed that all up. So yeah. So that's what we mean by the good feed and a bad feed.
Okay.
When he formed Adam, he formed Adam righteous, a good feed.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
So everything from that tree is supposed to be righteous. That's how you know something happened with Cain. Why Cain? You got to ask the question. Why Cain so wicked? Adam, he formed Adam, perfect and righteous and good, and he found and
Mm-hmm.
he slept with Eve. He formed up. All right, where you get this dude from? Where you come from? So something had to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
so
said, you can't fumble with
intertwined.
DNA. That's what I mean by it may sound foreign when I'm trying to break down Ham, Shem, and Japhet, but how you have a white dude, the mom and dad black,
Come on now.
then you have all these three different type of men, and they and the
Mm-hmm.
mom and dad is Negro.
Mm,
Come on.
Ain't no way. So it's something wrong. It's a dead cat on the line. You got to go back and track it down, and then you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
find that he said get male and female from all flesh. And you find out he had a 6-day man that he created. Then he formed a man and made a woman out of his rib. And then he got the serpent slept with Eve. He got kept.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they
Mm-hmm.
that's why they different. He ain't birthed them and they came out like that. They origins is different. All three of them origins is different.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Following that DNA trail. And sometimes we forget, Leonard, that the people of the world today are descendants of one of those different kind of people.
Right. Exactly. And every all the other races that we deal with now is variations of that, offshoot, cuts off of it. That's what's going on, and you know, but they want, you know, and you have to have that. You got to have that set up in your mind if you're gonna go, you know, any deeper into this, to get the understanding of what's really going on, because it's what they've done is they created a cabbage, and you got to peel it. You got to peel it one layer off at a time and go deeper and deeper into it to get the understanding. You ain't gonna just sit there and see all of it. You gotta deal with what's on top. Once you get that, then you go peel another layer off. You know, that's how you do it. Yeah.
And so, Leonard, when we talk about you know, the depths of DNA, and you know, like you tell us, whenever someone hears the truth, depending on their, you know, depending on what is in them, what is their makeup, at some point, you know, that truth is going to resonate
Right.
within, you know, is if the DNA of the Lord of hosts is anywhere in there, at some point it's going to resonate, you know, with
Right.
them.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's why I keep on reading this verse right here. And he did this over and over again. And you know, you have to get that in your you have to get that in your DNA, in your mind. It's Ezra. When it's time for them to leave Babylon, Ezra chapter 1, verse 5, starting at verse 5, it says, it's time for them to go. Cyrus had made the proclamation for them to go back to Jerusalem. Then verse 5, Ezra 1 and 5 says, then rose up the chief. See that? Same as good fig. Same as good fig. Rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, with all those whose spirit, see that? God had raised to go up to battle. Everybody's spirit ain't getting raised. Everybody's spirit ain't getting raised now.
Right.
It's the ones that it's the good feed. The remnant. He raising up their spirit. That's why you on this line. You know? Yeah. Man, he placing you where you're supposed to be at. It's, you know what I'm saying? But so that's letting you know everybody ain't you ain't get over here on no accident. Your spirit was raised. And to get to the point where you at. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. So anybody else got anything? Yeah, so this sort of like a go ahead.
I just want to say that one of the those two women that from I know from Alaska, uh, she was trying to sell me Jesus. Oh yeah, he is God's son, and yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, one of those guys uh, that's talking about that vaccine say stay away from anybody who take it, especially uh, that look like us, and they trying to. He said stay away from them. So when she called me up yesterday, and told me that they were going to get it, and you know, but when she told me she was going to get it when they put it out, that was it for me. So,
Right. Make that song. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's when I'm getting ready to play is Michael Moore. You know, he put another video out, and you know, it's like a warning, and so you know, I think it's packed with information, and it's something that we need to keep our eyes on. So play half of it and talk about it, and then play the other half.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight on a Sunday night. And let's just we'll wait a few seconds for people to log on. I've got a few notes here. I just want to make sure I cover the things here that I want to say. I've got a window open here too, just to get some fresh air. So you might hear a few sounds of the city. Hello to everybody that's saying hello to me. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope the picture and the sound is okay, and I think we can get started. I just a minute or so late here in getting going because for the third or fourth time this week, Instagram has blocked what I've posted. You can still, if you hit it, the black screen where they've got the big X's, where their censors have decided that I've said something that's false. And this time I was just announcing that I was going to do a Facebook Live here in a few minutes here on Facebook. That's all I said. I mean, I might have given a few ideas about what we might talk about in terms of what I think the threat assessment is for the rest of the week. But I think just they have robots that must do this. They just go through. And I had posted the poster that the terrorists had been posting all over D.C. and other states this week. Posters that were calling for an armed march today on the state capitals and the U.S. Capitol with guns. I thought people should know about this. And what was the other thing? Oh, my friend, the congressman from Flint, Dan Kildee, trapped up in the gallery inside the House chamber during the assault, videotaped some of what was going on, and the fear that the members of Congress were in, laying flat on the floor, and then they hear the gunshot that goes off. I believe it's the gunshot where they shot one of the terrorists that were trying to get in through the doors of the House chamber. It's amazing more people didn't die. Yeah, there were 5 who died, and then another Capitol police officer committed suicide the next day. And then 60 Capitol Police ended up in. Hey, is this coming through okay? Are you there? Okay. I guess we're okay. So, first of all, I have some new thoughts, and I have some different thoughts about what's transpiring here in the country, around the country, on Capitol Hill in D.C. and around the 50 states. And I've done my own investigating and my own talking to people and my people that are familiar with what's going on inside the militias. I've covered these militias since the late 70s back in Michigan. And getting a sense of where I think things are at. I believe for the short term, for this week, we, the good guys, have won. One in the sense that I don't believe they're going to proceed with their threats of further armed violence at the Capitol or at the state capitals this week. They've made a decision, various militia groups and right-wing extremists and the crazies, that it's not safe for them to proceed with any further actions like what they did on January 6th, because they may not live this time. And I think the show of force has probably been a good thing for them. They've seen the National Guard show up with their rifles, their long guns. And I think they know that the National Guard is not there. Those guns are not there to arrest them. The guns are not used to arrest terrorists. Those guns are there to put a bullet through their heads. That's the purpose. The Guard and the armed forces are trained to shoot to kill, not to wound, not to maim. And they don't use the gun like they're handcuffs where they're going to somehow arrest people. That's the real purpose of texting me, and I think that they're texting to let me know, because I think we were out of sync last time. So, but yeah, they just don't know that I'm doing a Facebook Live right now. So friends are texting me. Okay, friends, thank you for being my friends, and we'll all speak later. So I want to be clear about this. I think that they're going to be too afraid to attempt anything. I think they think that they made their point. I think they think that they won that day. They are emboldened. They are full of the belief that they put fear and terror into everyone in the country, and to have 25,000 National Guard have to be sent to D.C. and to literally put up miles and miles of strong fence that nobody's able to climb or tear down. That's a huge win for them. The fact that we are going to have an inauguration this week where the person who the vast majority of the country voted for is not going to have the day that he and his vice president, she, should have. So they corrupted that. They put a stop to that. Now look, it was already not going to be a very big event anyways because of the pandemic. So let's be clear about that. The Constitution said that the both houses of Congress were to certify the Electoral College votes on January 6th. They succeeded in that not happening. They were not officially finally counted, and Biden and Harris declared the victors until after 3 in the morning on January 7th. These are big victories for them. They were able to shut us, we the people, down. They were able to kill a cop. They were able to injure 60 cops. They kept saying we've been sent here by the president. Their leader told them to attack Congress. Go up Pennsylvania Avenue. Stop the vote. And now we're learning that they were going to stop the vote, possibly by kidnapping and executing members of Congress, most specifically the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and Mike Pence. We have to understand that they decided to start a war against us, against this country, on January 6th, and that war is not over. They don't think it's over. They feel like they won the first battle. The sergeant of arms of both houses have had to resign. The Capitol Police Chief has had to resign. Heads have rolled. They're happy about that. And they see it as a victory, and they see that this war is going to continue because nothing is really going to change the sickness in their heads, which tells them that Joe Biden was never elected president of the United States. They will not. We have got 4 years of having to deal with this, so we're going to have to deal with it. That's why we can't rest on the fact that, well, we got away with no further violence this week. We have to be prepared for that and dealing with a country, dealing with the 74 million Trump voters who believe that Donald Trump is still president. And we can't just bemoan that. We can't just wish it away. This is going to be a very, very difficult thing for us to deal with. The war, their attack, their terrorist war, their terrorist attack continues. It is not over. But there's a bit of I think, a bit of relief. I don't want to make this too strong, because I don't want anybody kind of sitting back and thinking, oh, well, this too has passed. That's not true. I think here's what I think the biggest threat is right now. I don't think it's QAnon. I don't think it's the Proud Boys or the Boogaloo Boys or all the boys. I mean, they are a danger. I don't think it's the militias per se. The biggest terrorist threat, which reminds me of a whole spate of horror films from the 80s and 90s, where the teenage girl is babysitting, or she's up in her bedroom and the phone rings, and she picks up the phone, and some insane, crazy monster of a guy tells her that she's not going to live. Well, and then she immediately hangs up, but she tries to call out. She tries to call out to 911. She locks the door. He calls back. He said, "No, I don't think you understand. I'm not calling from someplace across the street or across town or whatever. The call is coming from inside the house. I'm calling you from downstairs. I'm already in the house." Right? A lot of you probably maybe haven't seen those movies. And of course, when they started making those scary movies, Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, they would always satirize that particular scene. But that's really what we're going through right now, is that the threat isn't so much coming from the woods of Michigan, from a trailer park in the desert of Arizona. The threat, the real terrorists, are already inside the house. This is what we've learned from the attack on January 6th. That there were a number, and I mean a large, as one news agency said, an alarming number of current police officers from around the country, and ex-police, and current active duty military, and ex-military, were all there participating in the coup, participating in the attack on the Capitol. And they were there, and they were armed, and they had armor on, and they're the ones with the walkie-talkies. They were doing a lot of the logistics. They knew what to do. It's what they do for a living. And the scary part about this is that you had all of these white police officers. They've already shown some pictures of, there's a couple of NYPD, there's a couple from Seattle, there's a couple from Virginia. But they figure, at least now, right now, they think about 15 police agencies around the country sent actual officers there, not in cop uniforms, but in plain clothes or camouflage or whatever, to participate in the attack and the takeover and the stopping of the counting of our Democratic votes. Actual police, actual military. This is now a fact. So now we know this. And I'll post on Facebook here after we're done these two studies that have been done in the last 15 years to show the intense level of white supremacists who are in law enforcement all across the country. Actual white supremacists. And then a whole nother group in our police agencies of what they call, this is an FBI report. One is an FBI report from October 17th, 2006, and the other is a Homeland Security report from 2009. Both reports were ignored. The FBI report, I think it was entitled White Supremacist Increase in Law Enforcement Across the Country. this has been going on now for a decade or two, and probably longer. But the FBI and the Homeland Security did their own investigations of this to say we've got a huge problem because we have white supremacist sympathizers, and just hardcore racists occupying police departments all across the country and occupying branches of our military. It's gotten so bad in the military has done their own investigation of this, Pentagon, where the Joint Chiefs of Staff had to issue a statement here in the last week or so to all the troops in all 5 branches of the military. Sorry, I can't say it with a straight face that the Space Force is a branch of the military, and it demeans the other branches of the military to call that a branch. So sorry. Hopefully Biden will fix that. But the Joint Chiefs of Staff had to send a memo out to all active duty service members, reminding them whose side they're on. It's amazing that they even needed to do that they had to warn their own members of the military that you are to follow the Constitution and you are to obey us, not the commander-in-chief. Was the implied between the lines thing. But they're that worried about it. They knew this was already being cooked up. They knew that a lot of active duty and ex-military wanted to participate in this takeover, in this coup. Didn't you wonder in the last few weeks why the Joint Chiefs of Staff had to remind active duty service members that their duty was to the United States Constitution? Didn't you wonder a few weeks ago why the 10 living secretaries of defense had to issue a statement saying that there has to be a peaceful transfer of power? Did you wonder, well, what were they worried about? What did they know? What did they know? What did the Capitol Police know? We still can't get an answer. We still can't get one big press conference with all of them together. The mayor of Washington tried to have one on Friday, but the National Guard wouldn't show up. Homeland Security didn't show up. FBI didn't show up. Secret Service was there. Capitol Police wasn't there, probably for the better, but they weren't. But it's just amazing that they still, because they don't have their story together. That's the problem. They don't have their story together, and they don't know really how many of their members of the military or police across the country participated in this coup. And they're embarrassed by it, as they should be, that they let this happen when everybody kind of knew something was going to happen. So I think that there's a big cover-up going on. And I think there are people in the executive branch that knew what was going to happen. Obviously now we know that members of Congress, Republicans, had given tours and helped out maybe the leadership, some of the key people. Got the day before January 6th on January 5th, they were shown the ropes. They were shown, here's where you go, here's the tunnels, here's how you get from there to there. That's Chuck Schumer's office. Wow. So, and I think I want to start referring to this to what it was. This was a white race riot. These were white cops, white ex-cops, white military, white ex-military, white Republicans in Congress, white Republican staffers who aided and abetted. Let's say you're going out. Because, listen, I mean, I don't know. Some of you, my fellow white people, I know some of this feels like a bridge too far. But I think, don't you know anybody who is black or brown not white. They'll tell you the truth. They know what this is. They see what the underpinning foundation of all of this is. It's a fear of a black planet. It's the fear that white people are not going to have power in a few years. And theoretically, that's correct.
You
And I've said
think?
it for a long time. There's nothing you can do about this. And I know a lot of them, they're angry. They're angry because relatives, now everybody's marrying everybody else.
It go back to what I keep saying about Africa. They keep on telling you 85% of the population is going to be in Africa by 2030. So it's right in your face.
Because we've raised 2 generations of young people that, by and large, the vast majority of them, they're not haters, they're not bigots. They want to marry who they fall in love with, you know. Skin color seems like a ridiculous consideration. So good on them. Good on the kids. But this is driving these white guys crazy. Absolutely crazy. That the country they think is theirs, that was founded by, as Charlton Heston said to me in Bowling for Columbine, by those wise old dead white men who gave us this country. And this is what they're afraid of. Let me say this. We have work to do this week. We have to demand that a number of things happen. And number one is we have to cut the head off the snake. And the head is the person who has to stand trial in the United States Senate starting this week. He must be convicted and removed and prevented from ever running for office again. If we don't do this, if we allow Trump to get away with this, if anybody listens to all this BS about, oh, why are we doing this? He's gone. We got other things we got to do. Yeah, we have other things, and Biden and his people are going to do them. But if we, this is the worst crime a president could commit, to incite the overthrow of the counting of the votes, and thus the overthrow of the democracy, and to send people he knew were going to be violent and were going to do what they did. And when cries of help were sent to the White House to send in the National Guard, calls to the Secretary of the Army, no. Here's something that's amazed me about, if you watch some of the new video. So they all started getting their way into the Capitol building after 1 o'clock. The building was not secured again until after 8 o'clock. The National Guard, I think, didn't show up till after 5 o'clock. But they're all in the building all this whole time. And then when it's time for them to leave, to get out of there, they're not arrested as they're coming out. By this time, Metropolitan Police have showed up, police, National Guard, and they all just leave. By the end of the day, there's 12 arrests, the majority of those being curfew violations. You've seen in the footage now a number of police just standing around in there. Maybe they didn't know what to do. Maybe they realized they were outnumbered. You also see some Capitol Police waving the crowd in. When they broke through the fence outdoors, come this way, this way. Capitol Police officer pointing them to Chuck Schumer's office. I'm telling you, my friends, this was an inside job. It was ignited and initiated and incited by the President of the United States. And it was aided and abetted by Republican members of Congress and their staff who helped people know where they needed to go. So the first thing that has to happen right now this week is Trump has to go on trial, he has to be convicted, and he has to be prevented from running for office again. If we can't do that, to the person who sent them there to do what they did, we are going to pay a huge price for this. The 4 years of the Biden administration are going to be racked with one incident after another, and we're going to have a very hard time getting anything done, and that's just the way they want it. And it's the way Trump wants it too. Gloating as he watched the attack on the Capitol taking place. Forced by his aides to finally go out and make some statement, but also telling the terrorists that we love you, you're special people. Because he said later, he said that he hated having to say anything to them. They were doing exactly what he wanted them to do. So he has to be tried and convicted. Any member of Congress who participated in this has to be removed. You remove them with a 2/3 vote. So the Democrats have, more than half of the House, and they just need a few good Republicans to join them, and they've got to kick them out, and then they should be prosecuted for the treason that they committed in helping this coup take place. We have to do these things, my friends, or we're just going to see more and more and more of this. And then everybody who participated in this event, all the people that broke in there, all the people that committed acts of violence in there, they have to be arrested, and they have to be prosecuted, and they have to be tried, and they have to pay for this crime. Excuse me for that. Every single one of them, especially any police officer or military, active duty member of the military that took part in this, must be met with serious consequences. If we don't take this position, if we wimp out on this, fellow liberals and lefties, quinoa, friends of tofu, seriously, folks, this is not our moment to wimp out. This is our moment to stop this, or we are going to pay the price for this, maybe for the rest of our lives. So I'm telling you that you must demand this. You must call your member of Congress. If it's a Democrat, it'll be clear what you want them to do. If they're a Republican, there were 147 Republicans that voted to not count the votes of the American people. After they were ransacked and they were hiding and running for their lives, they went back into the Congress, and 147 Republicans voted for sedition. They have to go, as far as I'm concerned. It means that there's another, 60 Republicans that wouldn't do that. So we don't go after them. And they join with us to bring some order to this and to make sure that those who committed these violent actions have consequences. You must demand this. You must call Congress tomorrow and have your voice heard. Have the clerk that answers the phone mark you down. They're going to show their members how many people have called in the next few days.
Okay. Any comments so far? Anybody got any comments so far?
I mean, what he's saying, we already know pretty much, but about the police having the white supremacists, and that's part of the force. You got some of them right now in the White House with the National Guard. I mean, just because you're part of the military or the police force, that does not mean you're not racist, because we've seen how they can shoot down us. They was able to handle us when there was riots going on.
Right, right. Yeah, he made mention earlier in the video how they had been doing research on the movement of the white supremacists, how they had started uh, influx, coming into the police departments and into the
Right.
military. So yeah, that started 2 decades ago, and that right there in itself, and then they had to put out memos because it's so bad now. They had to start putting out memos and stuff to the the high ups to just bring attention to it. And
Mm-hmm.
so that explains right there where all these uh, killings come from. The cops shooting the black men.
Black man, right.
Because all the police departments infested with racists, white supremacists.
Mm.
Yeah.
True. So true. Mm.
Anybody else got anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, they said that they must try Trump and they must impeach him so that he's not able to run again. Is America even going to last for another 4 years?
Right. Yeah. It's just the point.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Right. Yeah. They got some in plan, but they got to keep the population throw it off as if everything business as usual. But they got something planned. That's the same thing they did with 9/11. They already knew 9/11 was coming, but they conducting business as usual. Keep
Yes.
the keep the masses throwed off. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna play the second half and then yeah talk about it and then do a little Q&A and close out. Um,
It's so important that you do this. It's very easy to call the House or the Senate. Um, and I think I can remember the number actually. It's 202 224 3121. If I've got that wrong, somebody write it on the screen right now, but I think I got it. You can dial either 224 or 225, and then it's 3121. Remember, the area code's 202. And if you don't know who your member is or your senator, you just give them your zip code or your state, and the operator then will connect you to the right person. But we can't be silent about this. We must demand the trial of Trump and his conviction, and we must demand that anybody who aided and abetted is thrown out and prosecuted, and those who voted to throw our votes out on that night, they've got to go too. They've got to be removed. And the larger problem of why we have so many racists and white supremacists in our police departments and in our Congress, that's got to be dealt with. That's the problem. The problem isn't defunding the police. It's defunding the racists and the white supremacists who are in the police department. And it's redirecting the funds so that our police are more effective. So they're not being asked to do things that they don't know how to do and don't want to do when people call, when people have a need for help. We have to fix all these things. I know it sounds like a lot that's on our plate. But if we don't do this, if we don't take care of Trump, if we don't take care of these Republican members of Congress, if we don't take care and deal with the terrorists who broke in to the Capitol building, if we don't do our best to remove every Republican in 2022, they have to be crushed, as one of their former Republicans said on TV this week, Steve Schmidt. They have to be crushed. They've gone too far. It's not just that they have another opinion that's different than ours. They believe in violence, and that has to stop. And as I've said this week on TV, we in Michigan made a mistake by not arresting those militia who in April, after Trump tweeted out to them, liberate Michigan, remember that? On April 17th. And then they came into our Capitol. It wasn't a protest just outside. They came inside with their guns and then circled the balcony looking down on the senators with their guns. We let that go by. We let that go by when they showed up at our Secretary of State's house at Christmas time. She was with her kids there putting up decorations. They brought their guns and stood there out on the lawn. We got to January 6th because we in Michigan didn't stop this. And they saw they could get away with it. If they could get away with it in Michigan, maybe they could get away with it in D.C. This is why we have to speak out when this happens. And you can't, and it's like, I know a lot of people didn't want to call the Attorney General in Michigan and say, or criticize because she's a Democrat, the governor's a Democrat. You got to get over that stuff. You have to do what's right. You have to make your voice heard. This is not going to go away on its own. At the very least, we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our representatives where they're doing our business. And Biden, please, I know you said it, but don't let anybody talk you out of it. You have to have this inauguration on Wednesday, outdoors, right where it's held and been held for the last 150 years. Longer than that, probably. You have to be there on the steps, outdoors. Don't give in to the terrorists. They've won if they forced you into a bunker where you can take your oath. The protection can be there. We have enough there. In fact, we have too many there right now. We have so many guard there, and so many police have come and are coming from like 24 other cities. This is, again, just makes them gloat that they're able to make this sort of thing happen. We can take care of these people. But to create the image of a police state, in armed troops that occupy the city, this is not how we want to live. This is not how we want to be seen around the world. They should try to do everything that they can do that they're planning to do with the inauguration. They should continue to do it. And Biden should give the strongest speech of his life and let them know who's in charge. We, the people, are in charge. We call the shots. We who elected him to office. And they're going to just have to accept that. You know, hundreds of years ago, people didn't want to accept that the earth was round. Eventually, they came around to it. Same thing with these people who don't believe that Biden won. And we have to redefine the word terrorism. One of the main terrorists in this country is the ex-governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder, who was finally arrested this week, but only on a misdemeanor charge for poisoning the people of Flint. If you poison a city of 100,000 people, and if you cause permanent brain damage in 10,000 children, like he did, you don't get away with that. There has to be consequences to this. Those in power have to know if they behave this way, shit's going to hit the fan. And this governor is a terrorist. He cannot get away with a misdemeanor. One of the best things I saw this week was how many ex-wives or ex-girlfriends were turning in their ex-husbands and boyfriends because they saw the picture of them as part of the insurrection. And I thought, wow, the FBI should set up like an exes hotline. Because if anybody knows these guys, it's the women that used to have to tolerate them. Paid the same as men. If you get sick, we're going to cover you. If your kids want to go to college and you don't have the money, it's going to be a free tuition at public universities, four-year universities, and community college. We're going to do all these things for you, people that we don't get along with. I think the more we do that and the more that they see after a few years, wow, you mean there's no copay? Where's the deductible? There's no deductible? Who did that? Democrats. Oh. It'll take a while for them to process it, but they will. So things will change that way. And their kids are going to be okay, because we are all committed to making sure every one of our public schools is a great public school. We're committed to making sure we have every library open in every neighborhood across America. Those libraries should be packed with books, whether they're these books or these books. There's books. And the more those kids read and the more they're educated, the better chance we have that they're not going to be easily swayed by crazy ideas. I have a big belief in this, that this next generation is going to help turn this around. And we can make sure that happens if we take care of this country and we do a lot of these things that we say that we're going to do. And in 2 years from now, in 2022, we have to throw so many Republicans out. And you've got to do it in your state legislatures. You've got to do it in your city councils. You've got to get rid of these people because they're really good at what they do. And they're good at getting elected to offices they have no right being elected to. They're good at gerrymandering. They're good at voter suppression because they know, this is what I love about them, they know they have to voter suppress because they know the American people don't like them, don't want to vote for them anymore. What did Biden win by? 7 million, 8 million votes? Hillary won by 3 million? Gore won by 500,000? I mean, we've come a long way since Gore. 500,000, 3 million, almost 8 million. That's because the people are with us. So we just have to get the laws fixed so that their votes count and make sure they're always counted. And you have to think about running for office, some of you. A local office, school board, city clerk, commissioner, county commissioner, something. But you've got to get good people to run for your state representative and state senators in 2022. Find the best people in town. Find that beloved teacher everybody loves in town. That person should run. Find a hardworking, smart, working person, a nurse, a teacher. And if they've got the time and they're willing to knock on every door in the city, in the town, in the district, knock on it once and then do it again, knock on it twice. That's how you win. But you got to have the time and you got to have the resolve to do that. We have a lot of things we need to do. I've gone a little long here, but I will do this more often. And I see somebody has pinned part 1 of my James Corden interview from the other night. I really enjoyed. I'd never been on his show before, and I really enjoyed talking to him. And so it's listed, I think, in like 3 parts. You'll see 3 different segments on YouTube. And one of the segments is we ran long, so I don't know how they would run long with me on as a guest. I mean, really. But there's a 6-minute segment that they didn't air on Thursday night, and it's there.
Okay. Any comments? Any comments?
No, I don't.
Nobody have anything? Okay. So we are down to the end, and what I'm gonna do is a little Q&A. If anybody got any questions about something they read or came across, or they want to bring up, and so we can expound on it before we close out.
I have an Adam and Eve question.
Okay.
why is it that when Eve did what she did with with Satan, Samuel, there was no consequences until she gave to the man.
What do you mean she gave to the man? Oh, talking about to
Um
Adam? That she gave to Adam?
okay. Yeah, like she okay, so when it says she also gave to her husband, we know that what happened, there was a sexual acts took place. But it seems like when Eve slept with the serpent, there was no consequences. The Lord didn't come into the garden until about that, right?
Right. It wasn't no
If
consequences because it didn't. It was when
huh?
once Adam. It wasn't no consequences because until Adam partook of it. He was in charge. Once he partook of
Okay.
it, when the consequences came forth, because he was in
Because
charge.
he was in charge.
Right. He's in charge of the earth, in charge of the garden, and in charge of the Most High creation. And when
Okay.
he took once he partook of that, that's when the judgment came.
What should he have done then?
He should have. He had. She had been defiled. She had lain with another man, with another man, and
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't supposed to have no more dealings with her.
Okay.
But once he did, then that brought about the judgment.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I know we don't have any dialogue on that, but I mean, of course, when she returns on to Adam, is it like, does she just give him some, or does she tell him what she did so he knows he doing something wrong? Because if she just gives him some, that was his wife already.
Right. But she defiled now.
But right, that's what I'm saying. So did he know that she was defiled before he dealt with her? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah. He was there. And then she says that when she after she had done what she done, then it says that um she gave also to her husband. So
Right,
we know what she gave him. And he
right.
and
Some
he
of herself, right, is what
Right.
I'm trying to understand.
right,
So
right,
did he know that she was defiled already? That's where the law is broken, right? If,
right.
or was the law given that they weren't supposed to do that at all, but even amongst each other?
Now if you go to Genesis, if you go there to the story, you're
Mhm.
gonna see where
You see what I'm getting at, though?
Genesis
Like,
yeah,
chapter
yeah, yeah.
3.
known that she was defiled already and that she lay with another man, and then went ahead and just did it still.
Right. You go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 22, 21. I'll
Hmm.
start at 21. It says the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of the ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he woman, brought her under the man. And then 23, Adam said, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So if a man and a woman become one flesh, what they doing?
They're being intimate.
Intimate.
Yeah, they
Right,
consummate the marriage, right?
right. So verse 25 says, and they both were naked. See this? They both were naked, the man and his wife, and they are not ashamed. Now, after the serpent come in the garden, go to verse 6 of chapter 3. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes, a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof. You know what she did right here? She had cohabitated with the serpent and did eat and gave also unto her husband and he did eat. So he was right there. She can't do that if he ain't standing right there. He was right there.
Wasn't all
And
done
then,
behind his back.
uh,
This wasn't all done behind his back. I thought he got Eve by herself.
Right.
no, no, he's standing right there. Look what it says. It says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and they were pleasant to the eyes, a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat and gave it to her husband. He right there too, with her. See that? And then and,
Wow.
and did eat. Then verse 7. Then now look what it say. And the eyes of both of them were open now because it was illicit, right? It was unlawful. And they knew that they were naked. Now they know they're naked. They just consummated a relationship over here in chapter 2. Then they ain't know they was naked. But now, because of what did happen with her and the serpent, now she defiled. Then when he go in with her, then now their eyes open because now they know the serpent is the tree of good and evil. In case you don't know that, that's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now they in the same place he at. Now they know good and evil. Their eyes open because of what they did. And then
So
Michael came and now they hiding from him. So Michael already know what the deal is.
wow. So Adam and Eve, so they were there together as the woman decided to partake with um
The serpent,
the serpent. So okay,
right?
so this whole dialogue about the woman being left to herself and Adam should have been there. If Adam had been there, perhaps she would not have been persuaded. That's garbage.
That's garbage. Yeah, garbage. And like I
Okay.
said, what people not understanding what's going on is these two grown uh, kids. Really, they didn't have no childhood like we did. They was so they grown and they've been put into a situation, but they grown, but they like teenagers.
Yeah, because I mean, it says the serpent was wise, and
Yeah, he wise. They got a
2,000 more years to be wise. So it's like they a lot older. It's like an older brother or something. Like they got a lot more wisdom.
right, and then but the thing what you have to see right here before we showed up, they think they got the mindset of a Hebrew Israelite. They just righteous. That's how you got to look at what happened with transatlantic slave trade. Same thing. The Israelites they just righteous people. They just righteous. They're not thinking these wicked folks coming go snatch them up and trick them off and put them on boats and bring them away over here. They just gotta they Israelite countenance. They just righteous. They're not trying to hoodwink anybody or nothing like that. And people come to them. So like I said, look what Mansa Musa did. He got so much gold. He just loaded up a whole like 100 and some camels with gold everywhere, and then he just went down through Africa giving away gold. And that's how they found out where the Israelites is at. And that's what brought them over there. They came over there when Mansa Musa came out on the world scene with that gold. That's why they came there. But then from that's when they started getting this. They saw a more productive or something just as valuable. That was us.
Yeah, so that's something I didn't know. I didn't know. So you saying Mansa Musa was an Israelite?
Yeah, yeah. He was
Nah.
like this is what you gotta look at. When Daniel described Michael, right, in Daniel chapter 10, right?
Yeah.
He told he had a belt around him, girded with a golden girdle from you from Upas. That's a special certain type of gold. right?
Right. Like
So so you go back to the garden. Let me read it right quick. Go back to the garden, and it tell you right here. It says, let me get it. It says, chapter 2, verse 10. And the river went out from Eden to water the whole garden, and from thence it parted and became into four heads. And the name of the place is Pison. That that it is that is it which compacts the whole land of Havilah where there's gold.
right.
See that? So this they gold. That's why Solomon got gold, and
Right.
Solomon was dealing with the same. Solomon, the gold, Solomon's mines had the same gold that's wrapped around uh Michael waist.
Right. So yeah, I looked up on the concordance for Uppass. It's H210, a famous gold region, and then it's
Right,
H211 of uncertain
right,
derivation, Ophir,
right. It's a different type of
name of the
gold,
son of
fine gold.
Jotan. Right. So that was like the gold of Ophir.
Right, right, same gold. So
Right.
then when Mansa Musa came out on the scene, that's what he had. He had this fine gold, so we know it's the same gold, same thing. But how you peep it out, I don't know if you know the story when when Joseph brought Benjamin into in and showed him on the map, told him how to they all know how to read maps and all that stuff. So he told him through astrology and all that, told him to say, uh, look on the map and find your brother. He looked on the map, then he said he read the map and he said, well, where your brother Joseph at? And then he said, he's standing right here. And then he said, well, where he at? Then he seen it was Joseph. Joseph was standing right there with him. That was his brother. The the uh, the, uh, the Pharaoh's second in command. But
Hmm.
but it tells you Joseph had a big golden crown on top of his head, right?
Right.
Ain't that what Mansa Musa had on his head?
Yep.
Big golden crown, but it was gold from Ophir on his head. He came out with all that gold. That's your sign right there. And then he throwing it all over the place. So that gold was in came from Timbuktu. That's where he was located. It was in a it was hidden. Only certain people knew how to get in there to where it was at. So when he came out in the world city with all that gold, shut the whole economy down. That's what brought all them heathens to that region. They was looking for that city. It was a golden city hidden off.
Yeah.
That's what brought them, the whole. That's what brought them over there to the Middle East. And if you and so you say, well, what are you talking about? Well, go back to the Syrians. People read over there. What brought the Syrians? What brought the Syrians to Jerusalem? When it wasn't I can't think of the name of the king, but he was he was giving them gold. And then when he started dealing with them, like the Lord was saying, he started dotting here and there with the Assyrian and with the Chaldean, and they became your lovers. So they seen it, they saw that, they saw the gold, they saw the temple, they saw those all those shields that Solomon had made from the gold of Ophir, all the temple guards, and all of them had golden shields and golden spears and all that, and they saw all that. That's what brought the Assyrians there when they came together 10 tribes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was another question I had. Where'd the 10 tribes go? We know, most of Judah, the southern kingdom, is here, right, in America, in Indies, and Jamaica and Haiti and all that. Mixture of Levi, Benjamin, and Judah, right? So
yes,
where the northern tribes go? Because they went in Assyrian captivity first.
right. So let me show you that. I'm in Ezra. I'm in Ezra chapter 1. You got it.
Yeah.
So the Assyrians came before Nebuchadnezzar came, right?
Yep.
and then took the 10 tribes over to Assyria. So that was their captivity for them sinning against the Most High. Then the Chaldeans came later and got the southern kingdom and took them into their captivity in Babylon, right?
Right.
So then Cyrus came, right?
Right.
What did Cyrus conquer the Assyrians?
Right.
So watch this. So this what I'm gonna get ready to read is the commandment and Daniel telling you about in 9:25. It says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, and he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it in writing, saying, thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven, have given me all the kingdoms of the earth and have charged me to build them a house at Jerusalem, which is Judea, right? So
Mm.
that's telling you right here, but people reading over it. Ain't the Syrians under his captivity now? Ain't the Syrians under his arm now?
Right.
The providence, he had 142 providences. Assyria is one of the providence. Ain't the 10 tribes there?
Right.
Now look what he say. Who is there among you of all his people? His God be with him. Let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judea, build a house of the Lord God of Israel. He is God, which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourns, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods, peace, and the free will offering from the house of the Lord that's in Jerusalem. So he talking to all got the 10 tribes there. He control of 10 tribes and he got Judah. So he
Okay.
said,
All right.
of
All right.
all of y'all that's here, anybody that want to go back to Jerusalem, you can go back. Your God had
Okay.
told me to tell you to go back.
So yeah, I never got that part, and that does make sense. So it was a point where we was all mixed again in the same
Right.
place,
Yeah.
all
They don't want
12
you to
of
know that
us.
though. They don't want you to know that. So what you read, I told you in Second Ezra, the story they talking about, well, the 10 tribes left and went to a place a year and a half journey, and they went to Asherah. That's what they get the story from, that the 10 tribes came to America. That's what the Indians are.
Wait, hold on. What you say? Where is that at?
That's in Second Ezra.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Well,
uh, uh, just Google it. The lost 10 tribes. The book of Ezra, Second Ezra. And it'll give you
oh, you're talking about in Apocrypha, yeah.
yeah. So that's where all this is coming from about the America is land of Canaan and all that, because from what they put in there. But what I'm showing you right here, that these Cyrus got 143 providences. Assyria is one of the providences, and he
All right.
telling them right here, and whosoever remaineth in any place where ye sojourn, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold. So anybody that's under his kingdom, under his dominion, can go back to Jerusalem.
Okay. So yes,
Right,
that means even like the righteous of the 10 tribes, because I know like the northern tribes, they did most of the idolatry because they was in idolatry for the most of the time. Shoot, literally
right,
the whole time. But
right,
there had to be some righteous people in there who decided
right,
to go ahead and return. You know,
right,
That's just too many tribes. That's like
right.
most of the kingdom.
And he finna do the same thing again. He finna regather all. He regathering all of us now when he regathers, right?
All right.
Same thing happened right here. So he says, verse 3 is the one that sums it up. He says, who is there among you of all his people? See that? All of them, because he got all of them is under his jurisdiction. He didn't conquer Assyria too.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's basically yeah. So that's everybody went to Negro land when we
right. Yeah, right, exactly.
settled in Negro land. That was a mixture. That was all of us.
Right,
Okay. So
right,
yeah. So we really don't even know. we
right, exactly. That's right. But like I was saying, once you understand the setup, though, is his own is the priests and the Levites. He tell you that if Israel go astray, the Levites and Aaron's seed is responsible. So if when he poured his spirit out on them, we see right here that he just raised up right here in the same chapter as what he says in verse 5. Then rose up the chiefs of Judah and Benjamin and the priests and Levites with all those whose spirit God had raised. So he got to raise them, he got to reckon the Israelites, I mean the Levites and the priests, because they're the ones responsible. So now the people that's waking up and with the getting the understanding, because they're the ones who have to convey that to the other, to the rest of the people. They got to be Levites,
Yeah.
and so everybody waking up, find out they Israelites. They all thinking they thinking they can teach and get a line and be a moray, but everybody ain't no Levite.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I feel like that's been so dangerous. Like that's why I kind of took a step back. At first I was debating and trying to tell people to drop JC and all that, debate, trying to wake as many Israelites up to drop JC and all that. But
Right,
there's just too much truth that I didn't know, so I was like, let me just take a step back and just
right,
study rather than try to teach, because I can make a YouTube channel, get out here, try to tell everybody they wrong. So like, let me step back and gather all the information I can, so then I can kind of come from a angle of wisdom, and it just that was such a big, advantage, just stepping back and really studying, because a lot of people don't do that. People find out who they are and want to run out there way too fast trying to teach
right,
and
right,
don't know what they talk about, because it took me stepping back to sit down and study, realize, okay, this is JC fake,
exactly.
to sit down and examine things, and people not
Right,
doing that.
right. And then you doing a whole lot more. You being a whole lot more effective. Like now, what you're doing now, than trying to do it the other way, because you don't know what areas awakening Israelites dealing with, and they might hear something you saying on here, and then boom, you didn't set them off. So you don't know. That's why you have to deal with each person individually, and you have to let them set the precedence. You can't just jump out and start kicking out information. You got to see where they at and what they're asking you and deal with that.
Right.
That's how that works.
No, exactly.
Everybody always trying to show the next person what they know when it's not even
Yeah,
about.
we trying to strive too much. Everybody trying to
Right,
strive against each other, when it's just they not read. When you truly read, you realize you need to be quiet and be wise sometimes. Wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
strength, and
Exactly.
I can be quiet and really have all the wisdom in the room without just
Exactly.
strive and trying to be seen and be the
right,
person.
exactly,
You can be the wisest person in the room and make a very profound thing happen, and you don't want nobody to know you did it.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But some people want to strive everything, It's
right,
you know,
right,
it's just kind of like a meek, the meek will inherit the earth. You got to
right,
be meek. Moses,
Right.
the meekest man ever, willing to give his life. He asked the Lord of hosts to blot his name out the book for the children of Israel. That's meek. That's not striving.
right,
He was
exactly,
wiser than everybody else. And
right,
the Lord of
exactly,
hosts offered to make a whole make Mosanites out of him. We wouldn't have
right,
been Israelites,
right,
So he even was willing to give his spot up in the kingdom. That's
right,
and humble you need to be.
Right.
People don't understand what it means to be meek. That's a big part of things.
right. But you know what? That's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying about the Israelite spirit. See that's gonna come natural, because he told Moses told him, the Lord also had to come down dealing with Aaron and Miriam, because they were trying strong on him. And he said he told them Moses is a meek man, and you and Aaron trying to strong on him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying with Adam. That's the spirit that was on Adam. That's the spirit that was on Adam and Eve. And the serpent came in there wicked as hell, and he played that. That's the kind of that's on the
Mm.
Israelites. They just meek or passive. Like with Enoch, he said everybody was coming to visit Enoch, and he was just Abraham. He said that other, Abraham had all his wealth, and he built a vineyard, a little area for like for wayfaring people that passing through his land. He had a vineyard there and had things set up there for the people that coming through to feed them. And you know how powerful he was, but he had a meager spirit. That's how. That's part of being Israelite.
Right,
Right.
right,
You know, Leonard, when you say that, it makes me think about how, you know, sometimes we deal with Europeans and, you know, we forget what kind of DNA they got. And, you know, we say, oh, they seem like they nice or whatever. But there's
Right.
always, you know, there's always treachery in there because of the DNA and because of their lineage.
Right. But wait, that's what he tell you about the Antichrist. So, he says that he's gonna come pretending like he peace.
Right.
That's what Antiochus did. He says he turned back after 3.5 years and came up against Israel peaceably. Then all of a sudden he came down on him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Like I say, when you understand what's going on, that's the countenance of that's a natural countenance of Israelite. He's not thinking that somebody trying to slick him or somebody trying to come and talk to him and then steal all the children and take them out and put them on a boat somewhere.
Right.
right. Hey, yeah,
No,
Right.
we're not used to that
you
because
know,
our culture is righteousness. You know,
Right.
you got to realize when we keeping the law, the whole nation. We've never lived in a nation to where the whole nation keeping the law. Like
right,
Right.
that's crazy to think about. To where
right,
everybody keeping the law, and if you around
Exactly.
everybody keeping the law, you so used to that, and you know dealings. You know, I'm right now. I'm actually working on a law that I'm typing up right now on a Hebrew written law. As a matter of fact, you know. But anyways, uh, that's a big part of that is just knowing that other nations not gonna keep the law, and you know, and being meek and you know, it's just kind of like I wouldn't say opens us up to being a doormat, but it's just like people not as righteous, you know, as our
Mm-hmm.
law, you know, and they're always gonna be looking to take advantage of, oh, if they knew our laws and knew that, you know, we supposed to keep certain things, they could use that to our advantage because we have limits that we keep, you know, and they have no limits,
right,
you know.
right.
Right.
Yeah, if you notice it, if you notice
And
that's
you
what they
know, when
did.
when when, when you think about it, go ahead,
Go ahead,
Leonard. You know,
go ahead.
when we think about it from the standpoint, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I'm saying when we think about that we were a nation that had parameters and guidelines and laws and statutes, and we weren't doing that wicked, perverted stuff that our captors were doing, then them Hebrew Israelites on those ships were traumatized.
right. That's
You
what he
know,
told us in the commandment.
with the things that they did to them.
Yeah, you breaking up, right? So yeah, he that's how when he told us don't let your sons marry their daughters and don't let your daughters marry their sons. He said, and the reason being, he said that they're gonna turn them away from him. That's what happened. So they
Right.
don't know nothing about his laws and statutes. So they started trying, like with Solomon, all those women he had, they wanted Solomon to set up a image of their God there. So
Mm-hmm.
they didn't
Yep.
keep up being Israelite. They don't have the DNA of Israelite. They got a whole other spirit in them. So they turned the
Mm-hmm.
turned away from the Creator.
Yep.
That's why he told them don't intermingle with people. They're gonna turn you away from me. And
Yep.
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. I mean, you
Even
know,
today.
she
What's
won't.
that?
But like you
Even
know,
today.
examples like she won't keep this the Shabbat, you know, the Sabbath. You know, she won't
Right,
respect that. She'll be trying to plan stuff on the Sabbath day,
right, exactly.
going out trying to buy stuff with your money on
Right,
the day. That's still like you buying stuff on the Sabbath day.
right, exactly.
You know,
Right, right. And then like I said, it's out of sync because they don't understand that. You know, what you understand, they don't understand it. And then the next thing you know, you off because they constantly doing something else, not understanding how it goes. The next thing you know, you way off track.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
Right.
even down to hunting,
that,
not hunting for food, hunting for sport.
right.
Yeah,
That's what it's meant by in your mouth, sweet as honey and bitter in your belly, cause yeah, you didn't, you might be with somebody you really like them and all that, but look at the end result. You've been taken away from the Most High.
yeah,
That go both ways. It could be the Israelite man or Israelite woman. You done got sidebarred. And then people talking about receiving a blessing. Well, that's how you receive blessings. When you put the hand up, when you already know what's going on, you being drawn that direction and you know better, but you put the hand up. That's how you get a blessing. That's what angels are. They watching. Gabriel told Daniel. I saw what you did. That was a righteous move. What he did when he started reading and saw what was going on. Then he started praying and fasting. And the Gabriel said, "I saw that." So you're a watcher. If you're a watcher, then you watching something where you got to go report it and tell it to somebody. That's why you watching. So that's how Abraham
Right.
saw everything. He says he excused evil. He excused all this stuff. That's how he got the blessing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anybody got anything else? Okay.
Shoot, I was trying to find a verse. It was saying that they would talk amongst each other often, and they'll be seen by what you're saying, like by the watchers, and then they'll be remembered and written down in the book. I'm trying to find what scripture that is, but
That's
it
in that's
perfectly.
in the King James.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah. Well, not
okay.
King James. Yeah, I just use regular King James.
Okay.
Audio.
So that's why I say it's of the utmost importance to understand what when you start talking about uh, that you're Israelite, it's a countenance, the attitude. When you say I'm awakened, and you find out you're Israelite, it's the same way you carry yourself, where you act, you know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we ain't, the average person you deal with, when you understand that, they ain't, you know, they ain't acting like that. Because like I said, how you gonna say you're awakened, and when you uh, muting the line and doing all this to somebody else, when the Most High says that when he looked down from heaven on the earth and he see Jacob, he see one man. So that's telling you that it's
Mm-hmm.
like a puzzle, going about a puzzle. All the pieces in the box, all the pieces gonna play a part when you start trying to put the puzzle together. So that's what he's telling you. And when anybody that's been in this walk can see that somebody over here might be doing one thing, and the other one over here might be doing something else, and you dealing with both of them, and all the dots getting connected. Because one might be strong over here dealing with with Leviticus and the law and all that, and another one might be strong over here with dealing with genealogy and all that stuff. So that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you find that verse, Daniel?
No, I'm still looking for it.
Okay. Well, you
Um.
just find it and put it on. You can quote it tomorrow when we start.
Yeah, yeah.
What you got? Okay, I'm gonna play with mine.
I was just. I was okay.
You got some?
No, I was gonna go to Genesis chapter 6 and 2 about um the watchers coming down and seeing the daughters of men, but the watchers are the wicked angels in that aspect, right?
Well, they wicked watchers. You got good watchers too.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So
I found it. I found it.
what you got?
All right, it's Malachi 3, verse 16.
What it say?
Remembrance. Uh, Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not.
Okay. So you know what the book of remembrance is?
Well, that's the book of life, right? That's up in heaven, right?
No, that's the Tanakh. So let me
Oh,
read it. Let me read it.
yeah, let me
Oh,
know about that then.
using Malachi what?
3:16. I thought that was the same book that your name was supposed to be written in.
No, that's all. That's the book. That's the book of life and the book of scriptures of truth that we talked about last night. That's up in heaven. That's it.
Right.
And only Gabriel and Michael looking at it and Yah.
Okay.
So you said 3 and 16. So what's going on right here is that they this the last book of the Old Testament, right?
Right.
They know that they know they finna get cast out the other land. So they worrying about what about our children? How they gonna know about us and not know about all the things that happen to us? So it says in verse 14, it says, "Ye have said it is a vain to serve God. What profit is it that we have kept His ordinances and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord?" So they got a problem with keeping His law and all that. So he says, "And now we call proud happy, yea, that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered." Then it says, "Then they that fear the Lord," that's the righteous seed. They that fear the Lord that spake often one to another, and the Lord heard it and hearkened, and a book of remembrance. So the Tanakh was written for us, for us to know what happened. That's the book of remembrance. To remember, for us to read it and remember what our fathers, what all that happened to our forefathers, what became of our forefathers, what befell them, and all that. That's what this book. That's what Tanakh is. He says, uh, then they spake. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name, and they shall be mine, said the Lord. So it's talking about the uh, uh, generation to come in the future. This book of remembrance was written up, and then and the epiphanies came,
Hmm.
but we had that's how they got our record.
Okay.
And like I said, from there, they translated Egypt to the Septuagint, and then that's how we get
Mm-hmm.
all the drama we got now. When they translated English, then they just started deciphering, coming up, writing their own books and all that. That's why all the drama came in once they translated into Greek. But it was the Tanakh they had. They translated into Greek. That's the Book of Remembrance.
All right. So yeah, we don't even have the true book of remembrance no more. I mean, we never
Nah,
even got to
nah,
really even use it. So we kind of doing what we can, what we got. Huh?
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then you just connecting dots. Which, like I said, you find one truth that you know the truth, and you build off of that. Just you keep building off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, we Yahweh, when he show up, he in a thick cloud and he on the sapphire stone. If you don't see that, it ain't Yahweh.
Right.
I don't care what the scripture's saying, because they hook with that. But if he ain't on a sapphire stone, and if he got flesh on him, or a robe, or a baseball hat, anything, it ain't none of him. So that's you got.
Okay, that is not the most.
That's how you rightly divide it. So when you get over there to Genesis, or you get over there to Daniel chapter 10, and Daniel described his angel, it ain't Yahweh, because
Right.
he got a robe on, he dirty with a golden girdle and all that. He got skin on him. They ain't no Yahweh.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you understand that. Yeah. Anybody got anything else? Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, it still kind of drove the point that I was trying to get across, though. I mean that we being watched and our righteousness
Yeah.
in
Right.
that same exact
Yes.
way that that our righteousness is being remembered. Hopefully, that's all.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Keep doing right.
what you actually read too was, like I said, once you start you chime in on it, you dealing with two bags of figs. 17 says,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in the day when I will make up my Jews. There you go, right there. Good bad thing again. And I will spare him as a man spares his own son that serves him. And then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, good and the bad fig.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about. And that's where Israel go off at when the wicked seed get up in there and he start doing the most, and then he send the whole nation off. And the most I gotta come and separate them and start again. Right.
Okay, I do have one more rather serious question.
What you got?
I'm pretty new to this truth of finding out who the Lord of Hosts is, and I'm, of course, very thankful to Him for waking me up to it because it's not to get to this point. Even though it's right here in front of you, it's so hidden. It's
Yes.
crazy. So when it comes to trying to, blow the trumpet on this, how have y'all dealt with that? As far as like, how have y'all gone about it? As far as like, y'all feel like it's a select people that's going to get this, or y'all trying to raise the alarm? Kind of like how I was talking about. As soon as I found out JC was fake, I was trying to tell anybody I knew, tell the world, see, and I'm already on that. Like I said, I have a whole link that has like precepts upon precept. Like it's all organized. I've taken everything I've learned and I've archived it into this link thing that that helps me keep all my stuff together. But anyways, all I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
how have y'all approached letting people know about this? you know?
Yeah. So like I was saying before, uh, first of all, you got your eyes on a person that you're talking to. You checking out their counters, and then, like I say, you letting them do the lead. Once you once the conversation, you get into the conversation, you playing off of what they're asking you, and you answering everything they're asking you. It's just like I say, it's like you saw a commercial with the owl and the Tootsie Roll Pop, and they keep on licking it and licking it. And the next thing you know, he in the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop. Well,
Come
it's
on.
the same thing. You whatever they asking you, you answer it. And every time you answer it, you taking them you giving them greater and greater understanding. And so if you trying to show them, once you see that they're interested and they got the right spirit, you go to Genesis chapter 18. That's your jump off point. You go there and show them the three angels in Genesis chapter 18,
Okay, yeah, Genesis 18. Yep.
and show them that it's two angels left and went to Sodom, and Abraham stayed with the Lord. So now you're showing them this ain't Yahweh. This is the Lord. And so what Lord? Then you show them the Lord of hosts. That's how you jump it off, because they can't help but see it, because it's a number arithmetic. It's three angels came two went to Sodom, Abraham stayed with the Lord. Capital L.
Right, right.
You get out of that, and then
Yeah,
you find out from there how to build off of it from there.
right.
You
Of
know,
course. And that just goes into checking their countenance too, because when if you're dealing with somebody who you know is like deep into JC, they're gonna want to plug JC into everything. So you
right,
already know you're gonna be having to deal with that already. And that wear you out enough as it is.
right, right,
You're gonna try to plug him in for everything, you know? So it
right,
doesn't matter. You can show them, oh well, who's this right here? JC. Who's this right here? JC. Both of them
right.
JC. You know?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So you have to you saw after you start doing it, you get more better and better at it. But what you want to do is once you do that right there, you still have to be familiar with the New Testament, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So understanding plagiarism, you got to go to the verse where they got that where they used.
Uh-huh.
So Genesis 18, you got to go to Matthew when Jesus said, "Before Abraham was, I am He."
Come
This,
on.
this is what he's talking about. This is what he's talking about right here. Genesis 18. He said,
All
"The
right.
day when Abraham met me, he rejoiced." That's right here. And then when you go there and you show him the three angels, he ain't no angel.
Right.
It's already been established that he ain't an angel.
Right.
You exposing you exposing and showing this a bald faced lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then you just once you get that down pat, then the next time you talk to somebody, you just building off of it. You're building the foundation, a blueprint on how to crack the egg.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to just piggyback real quick on something that Daniel said. Like, you get so excited when you come into the knowledge of this, and you want everybody to know, because most of us were in Christianity, and we were very faithful to it. And then once you find out that JC is garbage, initially or immediately you want to tell everybody that because you're thinking in your mind, certainly people want to know if they are worshiping the wrong God.
Right,
But
Mm-hmm.
the thing that happened to me was, in my zeal to try to just tell everybody, you know, the people want to fight you. And so what Leonard has taught us is to just, just stand still and wait for the conversation to be set up by the Most High, and like he say, just answer their questions and leave it at that. But we are never trying to persuade anyone or go hunt down people. That was
Right,
a
right.
that was a big that was a big eye opener for me, was to just like Leonard say, the Lord of hosts will touch their spirit, or he'll put you in the right place at the right time for the conversation to be had. But the one thing I do, anybody that I run into that want to know the truth, the first thing I do is I give them Leonard's phone number.
Right.
yeah. It's just a matter of getting it, just a matter of engaging. More after a few times of dealing with people and breaking it down, you get you know exactly what a verse is at. You even know how to quote it, because that play a part in it too. To be able to go right there, and as soon as they say something, go right to it.
Right.
And it's just a matter of doing it over and over again, and then even meditating on it.
Yeah.
You can see where when you was dealing with that first person, you can see where you kind of slipped up it or whatever. Then the next time that you're not gonna do that. You're gonna make sure that you
Right.
know where you're
Right.
going is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, shoot, you even saw some of that yesterday. I wasn't even planning on coming into a debate yesterday. Shoot.
Right, right,
Crazy.
right. That's what I was saying about it. I mean, you getting I'm dumping all kind of golden eggs on you. You still acting like it ain't nothing happening. I'm still dumping all these golden eggs on you. Man, come
Yeah.
on, bro. Yeah.
Nah.
Is it anybody got anything else? Yeah. So I'm gonna hit you with this line, and then we're gonna pick it up at 9 o'clock in the morning for the Sabbath class.
All right. Shalom, everyone. Welcome, Daniel.
Yes. Welcome. Oh, so I will say, I go to like a sanctuary, an in-person sanctuary
Oh, you do?
for the Sabbath. Yeah,
Okay.
uh, and they do the same thing. They put a live stream. It's kind of like a class. Uh, I just go to it. I, I have one, a place to go to that they, you know. But then again, it's different now. I will say that. Um, if they're you know Yahweh only, now me knowing about the Lord of Hosts, you know, you know,
Right.
you know, if they have the understanding of merging, you know, Yahweh Elohim when you read Lord God,
Right.
you know, it's different,
Right.
you know. So I don't know. So that's why I was kind of asking. Like this some serious truth.
Right.
You got some of us in Israel think that you know, we've gotten to Yahweh only and we've arrived. You
Right.
know, we non-messianics, and it's like it was a process alone getting to the point of being non-messianic, and
All right.
you a outcast just like it say, like, oh, you a remnant, you feel like you the remnant because you know, only, or you know, the Most High only, whichever, whatever you want to call, you know, a lot of different names that uh different parts of Israel, you know, give for the Creator, but yeah, it's just
Right.
this is serious.
You gotta get a thick skin. That's how they
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna see y'all in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah. Shalom.
All
shalom.
right. Shalom, everyone.